Sure, I'm Jonathan Higgins. I'm the Chief Exec of the Tyne Theatre and Opera House here in Newcastle.
I'm Rika Heiskanen. I am the fundraising officer for the Tyne Theatre and Opera House.
My name's Lena. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager here at the Tyne Theatre.
The theatre was built in 1867 for politician and industrialist Joseph Cowan Jr., who was a bit of a socialist, good old Joe, and he wanted to build a theatre for the working classes in the west end of Newcastle.
Everything that you can see, both externally and internally, is as protected as Buckingham Palace or Big Ben. It's Grade 1 listed, and we are definitely custodians that have to look after a building that is quite an old and creaking one and requires a lot of time and resources to look after.
There was also a big hub of industry here, and life was really hard, and this was the only place where you could come in and forget yourself for a while. People couldn't even maybe afford books or even be able to read, but they could buy a penny ticket to the gods and come and see the Christmas pantomime and see the magnificent magic.
The theatre was built as a theatre for working people. If they didn't necessarily feel like they could go to other venues or feel welcome in other places, this was a place for people after they'd had a long week at work to come and relax and feel welcome and comfortable, and that's kind of what we still like to do today.
So what you're looking at is one of the few examples of English modular wooden stage machinery left in the world. We are under the stage at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House, and all of this forest of timber here was used to create spectacular transformations on scene back in the day. For instance, on the left-hand side you have the demon trap, because in the tradition baddies come from the left side, the sinister side, and the goodies come from the right side. So on the right-hand corner of the stage we have the fairy trap, and in the middle is the grave trap. In England it's quite often called the Hamlet trap because it's used for the Alice Poor Yorick scene in Hamlet.
So as well as continuing to sell our shows, and we're selling more tickets than we ever have before. Last year we've sold the most amount of tickets that we've sold since we went independent in 2015, and every year that number grows, so that's great. But as well as selling tickets, we're just trying to make sure new audiences hear about us.
So yeah, sadly, ironically, because 9 out of 10 Victorian theatres perished in fires about 10 years after they opened, so the fact that we had our fire on Christmas Day of 1985 was really bad luck. We don't know what started it. All we know is that it gutted out the fly tower, so everything from this level up was basically, you know, like an empty chimney after the fire. And then after the fire there was a high wind. There was a lone standing wall that came down in that high wind and, you know, basically turned this thing into matchsticks.
I think we offer something quite unique in the city. There's loads of places to see great shows. Newcastle's absolutely great for live entertainment. The people that come here, that are audiences that come here, do think there's something really special about here, and our acts find that as well. So we get loads of big names that come that say they're especially like performing here because of the heritage and the history.
It's all metal and wood. If things don't slide, you have to add graphite powder. If you've got ropes, you have to check the ropes that they all work, and sometimes you have to change them. It's a living, breathing thing. Materials warp and change over time. So yeah, it's a process that never ends, but that's part of the joy of working with it.
Well, right back to the Stoll days when it was opened, labelled it as a theatre for everyone, and we still use that strapline today. We try and price the bar, our tickets, our booking fees fairly, so as we're realistic about what it takes to run a building like this.
We like to use the tagline, a theatre for everyone. Our programming reflects that. As I was saying, we think it's a varied programme. We think if someone looks through our shows, they'll definitely find something that they want to come and see.
The theatre was built as a theatre for the people, in the words of Joseph Cowan, and today we are proud to follow that ethos as a theatre for everyone.